Today on the show, we are talking the new 2024 Toyota 4Runner, and I've got some cool photos, and I want to give you some details that I think is coming for the April 9th release, and I think you're going to be excited by this, and I'm excited by this because I would actually like to have this vehicle in my driveway for our next long-term review vehicle, so you haven't smashed that like button and subscribed just yet. You're going to want to because, well, it may be here. So let's get into these photos, and I want to give my opinions of some engine options I think might be coming for this. It might be strange to you to hear this, that I think there might be a third choice for Toyota. So let's get into this right now. So I want to start out and say these are not official renderings, by the way, so don't freak out and think, I've seen it on social medias already, everybody's freaking out about these and fighting whether they're official or not. These are not official renderings. We won't see anything more probably till April 9th, which is only a couple days away. These guys, they're pretty good. I've seen it with Sequoia and some of the other ones, the Tacoma they've done, and they generally get pretty close. So I'm pretty excited by this because we do know the 4Runner is based around the Tacoma. So we have an idea that it's going to have some Tacoma looks, and as you can see the front of this, we'll kind of look around here. You can see very Toyota. Obviously, this is taken from the TRD truck. As you can see, they've done a beautiful job in masking that, but this is based around the truck photos from Hawaii. And you can see the light bar out front, which I do think Toyota's done a 4Runner TRD Pro. There's no reason to think they will not do that, though the TRD Pro price-wise was pretty expensive. So it makes me wonder, hey, where does this really fit in with the Land Cruiser that's $55,000+? But if this is even close, you're getting the wide fenders and something it looks like Toyota's really done. They've really paid attention to how people want to put larger tires on this. Now, previous generations, they just seem to be damned with what they want to do. They're going to do what they want to do, but as you can see here, if it is the TRD Pro, it's going to have quite larger tires, and I think you can put maybe 35s in this. I know I have seen in the Tacoma some people are already shoving 35s under actually really easily. So if that is, you 4Runner guys should be very, very pumped by that because that's what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to, it's a measuring contest with you and your neighbor. You got to be bigger, right? So look through this real quick. If this is even close, we do see it does have very Toyota-like the 4Runner, the carved window there, the kind of tilted window like that. It looks aggressive. All the way, of course, the taillights, we have a pretty good idea of that. But I want to show you the back of this thing because, well, that's what we know what it's going to look like. So here is the rear of this thing. And we have a pretty good idea. This right here, all this tonally, we kind of have a really good idea. I'm going to say that that's what it's going to look like. The powerful taillights on this thing, very in line with the way the interior looks. If you've been in the new Tacoma or even the Tundra and even the Sequoia, they all have these very rugged, broken angles. And if we do get that, and of course the taillights we've seen, I think it's going to be pretty aggressive out front. Now, I do hope, I want to go back to that front photo, I do hope they give it a little bit of its own personality up front. Do not make it just basically a little Tacoma because the 4Runner's always had its own personality. And as we get into that, I want to compare these to some of the previous generations, and I think we can see where the design lies. Now, you're going to stick around to the end of this video because I have some opinions that I think about the engines. As we look to the current generation of this thing, that red one up there, it's still, I've been amazed how they've just slightly refreshed it over the years, except for the interior, it seems like, and it's always looked current. So Toyota's always, when they do a design, it's a good 10, 12-year design. I'm very impressed the way they do that. Now, if we look at the bottom one compared to the top one, definitely I think the guy that did the renderings of this, I think they know Toyota's like, yes, that rear fastback glass, that's a staple of 4Runner. Obviously, it's a four-door. It's going to have a roof rack because every overlander needs to throw, a $4,000 tent on top of one of these things. But I think the key that I want to make out here is that the front end, 4Runner's always had its own unique front end. I do think that they need to continue with that. Let's not just slap the Taco. It would be easy. It would be very lazy, and I would hate to see Toyota do that, but I could understand if they did it because the front end of the new Tacoma, as you can see in the bottom rendering, it's just nothing but Tacoma. I do think that it would look good on this, but I would like to see, the headlights that we currently have in the current generation. I kind of like those. I want something that makes you go, okay, 4Runner. Was that a Taco or was that a 4Runner? We don't need that. Let us have our own unique personality up front and go from there. But as we ran through these things real quick, I do want to show you the kind of the rear of this. Definitely the taillights of this, which we do know, we have seen in some of the teasers from official Toyota photos. I definitely like those. The previous generation, I did like that quite as well. The big key that everybody, and this is weird to me, but it is a Toyota feature, the roll down glass. I'm so happy that they've kept that. But that would have been the last thing when the renderings and Toyota's official stuff came through. That was one of the last things I think people would get so excited about. But they're very pumped about this. Now, kind of you can see the old generation there, or the current generation to that. I'm not big on how they've done 4Runner. And this is Toyota's shown this. This is nothing to be crazy about. Don't need that kind of Cadillac like we're going to sling Escalade or whatever all across this. People know, and I have a feeling people are going to remove that 4Runner real quick and maybe buy the old badges and somehow integrate them in there, or just black them out. That's probably what I would do. But definitely front to rear this thing. I think the renderings are pretty close, and the wide hips of this and that TRD Pro truck, which they've based this on. Please do that. Please give us a TRD Pro version of this thing and just make it ultra aggressive like that. I think people would go nuts about this. As you can go through this, you can definitely see, like I said, the fastback glass in the rear. There's just certain trademarks that Toyota's always had with their older generations. You can see it here once again in the back of this thing. I think Toyota's done a very good job of staying true to where they've they came from. Now, I want to get to the engine of this thing, so let's break this one down. All right, as we wind this one down, I have some thoughts about the engine of this thing, because I think this is where Toyota could make a difference between there's the truck, the Taco, there's the new Land Cruiser, which we do know they're sharing the similar hybrid setup, the iForce hybrid setup. Do they do a hybrid setup in the 4Runner? Because this is where I think they could do something a little bit different. Now, I know a lot of people would, and probably makes sense federally with all the heavy, emissions regulations we have to go through. It makes sense just to do one thing, but Toyota needs to differentiate these things just a little bit. And do we just get the normal engine that they're putting in the normal Tacomas right now? It makes like 278 horsepower. Not bad horsepower in this thing, though. I do think I would like to see it in the 300s, but I'm a guy, I always want more horsepower in anything I do. Where the Tacoma right now, you can get 228 all the way up with the new hybrid system. It's going to be 326. We do know that the Land Cruiser is going to get that 326 horsepower and all those torques that it can shove out there. I would like to see Toyota, and I think it would be smart for them to go about 300 horsepower. The 278 would probably be fine. Just make it the Turbo 4 and be done with it. I think that would make it a stepping stone to, okay, the entry level is going to be the 4Runner. If you want the more power, you jump up to Land Cruiser, and if you want a pickup truck, you just go to that. I'm curious in the comments what you think about that. Do you think Toyota should do engine options, or are you the 4Runner guy that's like, no, I want the same thing, so just give me the 326 horsepower, the torques that can pull a house away from its foundation, and that's going to make me happy. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this. What do you think of these renderings, by the way? Because I think they're pretty damn close, and April 9th's coming, and I'm just so excited to see this thing, and I'm hoping it's going to be in our driveway real soon. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or these badass mother effing Toyotas, I want to drive. This has been your All Terrain Nation. I'm merely your host, David Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.